Hello and welcome to a new Uniko video with me, Bev, the owner and designer of Uniko. Yesterday was our January release and I've been a bit lacking of the videos recently, just time factor really, lots going on. So I thought I'd pop in today, the 1st of February, before the light disappears, to share one of the products that was released yesterday, and that is spring layering Bauhaus spring blocks. Bit of a mouthful. So you know, if you've watched my videos, if you know Uniko products, the original stencil was layering Bauhaus blocks, 3-layer stencil. And then at Christmas, I brought out, well, it was in July, Christmas in July last year, I brought out a Christmas version. And since then, I've been working on this spring version. So these are a few cards that I made during our release week using the Bauhaus spring blocks. As you can see, it's got hearts, it's got pattern. It's got a couple of flowers, some leaves, lots of lovely elements in this. Again, it's a 3-layer stencil, so 3 colours is all you need. Each colour is blocked out by the stencil, so you won't mix colours at all, and it can be used and combined with the previous 2 stencils as well, so you can pick out elements. So this was another card that I made, and I just picked out 3 elements on these little inch die cuts with a little stitch in it, just sort of to make April showers bring May flowers card. Super simple. And then this was a card that I shared yesterday across social media, where I've used the flower, just 2 layers of the flower, and I used the leaves from the original Bauhaus layering stencil. So you can really have some good creative fun with this stencil. So I thought I'd just create a quick and easy card, showing how, just a little reminder of how these stencils work, and we'll do a little embellishment of another flower. So I'm just centering my piece of card. This measures for 9.5 by 13 and by 9.5 by 13. Sorry, I will get into the swing of things. So there's not really any order to the stencils. You can do them in any order that you like, as long as you place them in exactly the same place. So this glass mat that I'm working on is by Tailored Expressions, and it is perfect for centering your stencils and getting them all lined up, because it's got a nice little guide and it's magnetic as well, so super good. I've chosen some springy sort of colours here, some sort of lighter shades as well than what I normally go for. I'm going to go for Aqua Sky first for this first layer. I want this one a little sort of softer in the background, though this brush might have some darker ink on it still, so I'm just going over quite gently. Don't want it too in your face, this one, because I want to be able to embellish this one with a little flower, which I'll probably fussy cut out. So February is Uniko's birthday month, so we're all about the celebrations here this week. So today I'm actually continuing the January release celebrations by sharing this product. This month there'll be lots of birthday inspiration. I'll be looking back at previously released products, and then towards the end of the month I have another new release, which is super exciting. I'm really looking forward to sharing some more new products with you. So here you can see that I've just lined up the stencil and it lines up perfectly. Now I'm going to go for a yellow. I've got Buttercup here, so I used Aqua Sky and now I'm going to go in with Buttercup. It is one of my favourite yellows. It can be quite intense if you go all out with heavy with your brush, but you can get a nice light shade with it as well, just by not pressing down as hard, maybe using the ink off your brush before re-inking it. That's another sort of tip I give about getting the lighter shades. It's funny because I always think a week of introduction, so each product gets a day. Myself and the Uniko brand ambassadors share products on how to use it, and I always think it's quite a lengthy process, and then when it comes to release day I feel, oh, there's so much more I wish I could have, I could share. So hence why I'm here today with this video. And it's been quite a nice day here. Yesterday was as well in the northeast. The sunshine has been out a little bit. I'm starting to feel the spring vibes a little bit here, which is nice. Still a bit cloudy, still cold, but I can definitely feel that spring isn't too far away. And I'm excited about that. So I'm just debating. I think I'm going to go for carnation for the next layer. So the heart in the middle of the flower overlaps. So you do want to choose a colour that sits nicely or blends nicely with the colour that's going over the top. You could mask that off and add a flower centre, something different. You could stamp a heart shape or a circle. I have lots of little tiny accent hearts and dots and things in various Uniko sets. So there's always something that you can do or replace that with. So I tried to pick images and patterns that would be perfect for spring and summer. So it's got a lovely rainbow. Obviously it's got the heart for Valentine's or spring summer weddings. This one sort of reminds me a little bit of like a 4-leaf clover, so you could do a good luck card or St. Patrick's Day. Obviously this one's more like a tulip, so St. David's Day. I think I've got that correct. I get a bit I don't always remember my saints, but yeah, there's lots of different things you can do with this. And you can pick out the elements, like I said at the beginning of the video. So that's what it looks like when you've done all 3 layers and you've got your instant focal point there. you could just add a little sentiment and be done. Maybe add some enamel dots to embellish a few little areas, but I think it's so pretty. But I thought I would show you how I did the flower before on the card that I showed you earlier. So I've just got a little scrap of card here because I am going to fussy cut the flower out, and I am going to do one of the other flowers as well. Just put a little bit more adhesive on the back there. And I'm just going to grab my masking paper. So this is the Eclipse paper, because what I'm going to do, I am going to choose the tulip here as my starting point. I actually am going to change my mind. I am going to start with the leaves first. And I'm just gonna, I'm gonna move this down just a little bit, because what I want to do is have it placed, no, that's not right. Let's just leave it in the middle, Bev. I'm getting myself all in a tiz about nothing because I'm cutting it out. So last time what I made sure was it was centralized, so I could then die cut it out, but it doesn't really matter too much. And I'm going to use 2 shades of green. The last time I used 3 shades of green, but I'm just going to use the 2. And what you want to do is you want some kind of like a post-it note or masking paper to mask off the sections that you don't want inked. It is a little bit of a faff, but it's just another way of stretching those supplies to get different looks. I always like to give as many options as I can, as the Americans would say, bang for your buck. When it comes to what you can do with these stencils, just different ideas. So I'm going to start with the pistachio. It's quite a light green, and I'm just going to go quite gently . I want it a little bit more solid than, a bit darker than the background that I did, which was quite light. And using this sort of type of masking paper, so this Eclipse, it's really low tack. So it's, you can put it on paper or your card and it won't rip. But you can like reuse it as well. So this is one of the original stencils, and it isn't quite 6x6, but the new the ones that are cut by my new manufacturer are 6x6 in size, so they do work better with these guides. But as long as you place it in the same place, and they are easily lined up as well. Some of my older versions aren't quite 6x6, oddly, even though that's what I asked to be manufactured. So I'm just going in here with the parsley. Oh, it's one of my favourite greens. I love everything about this green. I never used to be a green person, green lover, but I do really like this green. And then you could leave it like that if you want, but then I think the stem just finishes it off nicely. And I'm going to go in with the parsley again. Just gonna hold that down and then mask off again. Just I don't want to get ink where I'm going to be fussy cutting, so it's best to just mask it off. It doesn't take too much time. And I'm going to go in with the parsley again and just do the stem, pressing quite hard. And then I'm going to choose the tulip this time. See what that one looks like with these leaves. And I'm going to use some different colours. So I'm just placing it up here. I'm trying to get the centre of the tulip lined up with the stem. And then I'm just going to hold it down with my magnets. And then I'm going to go back in. Now some of these are quite close. So the patterns are quite close to each other, the images and patterns. I try to, when I'm designing it, think, oh, how will this look if, when it comes to masking and things, but it doesn't always work out exactly that there's loads of gaps or it's easy masking. Sometimes it's a little trickier. But I try to balance out the colours, the layers, so it isn't too sort of heavy with one colour and so forth. So I've chosen grapefruit here for this side of the tulip. And then I'm going to go in with nectar for the other side. And that's coming together quite nicely. And you could have a little row of these flowers. I think that's going to be another card I'll be making shortly. Is a row of different flowers. And if you could also pair these leaves and also the flower heads with stamps from the Uniko Flower Power range would work lovely with them as well. And you could use the stems with the flower heads or the stenciled stem and leaves with the stamped flowers. So I've chosen nectar here. I don't know if my brush had a slightly different colour on. We'll see how it comes out when we lift it off. I don't know if there'll be a huge massive difference. Oh, there is a bit of a difference. It's not, wow, look at it's quite subtle. And then lastly, you've got the little stamen of the flower, which I just think it finishes it off. And I'm going to go in with Buttercup. And again, I'm just going to mask off those diamonds. I just don't want to make cutting it out really awkward. And I've just got my yellow brush. I did clean my brushes not that long ago, but I will be cleaning them again this week. I tend to put them on a quick wash, put them inside a delicates bag in the washing machine, and it just washes them nice and quick. And there is our little flower. And then I'm just going to fussy cut that out. So I tend to roughly cut it out first and then go in and cut it out with a little bit more detail. Just leaving a little white border as you would get if you die cut Now those who are clever could use a scan and cut. I don't have one. I am quite technical, but I do like fussy cutting. I do find it quite therapeutic. I know not everyone does. So just going around these leaves. So this stencil is still in stock, amazingly. Along with all of the release, there is small stock of most of it left. So I will be busy tomorrow packing lovely orders that have come in so far, and they will be shipped tomorrow. So as I say, February is our birthday month, so lots of fun coming. Some awesome giveaways. If you're a long time fan of Uniko, you will know what they are. So be sure to keep an eye on the Uniko blogs and social media throughout the month. So there I've cut the little tulip out. And another trick that I've done before is you could have just added the stems to the tulip here, but what I'm going to do, I could have not sort of like inked that section, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise this up on some foam adhesive, and then I'm going to add my sentiment across this edge at the bottom. Just find my foam tape. So these are the little squares from Hobbycraft here in the UK. They're 1mm thick, and they're perfect for giving that little bit of dimension without adding too much bulk, so you can still post the card as a normal letter without having to pay extra. And I've got just, could have done with one more, got a little bit there, just enough left on that sheet. As you can see, I use foam adhesive a lot. I just like a slight bit of dimension. I just think it brings something to a card. The only thing is sometimes the paper on the back of them is a little bit tricky to peel off, even with nails. So almost done. Apologies for the noise in the background. My kids are obviously home today, being the weekend. They're currently gaming with friends, and even though all the doors are shut, it gets a little bit noisy now and then. So I'm just going to lay that over the top here, like so. And then I'm going to use, as it's our birthday month, I am going to use a birthday sentiment. So I keep lots of little bits of card ready just to trim. And I already have the happy birthday from Floral Vines. It's one of my favourites. Already out on my desk. I'm just using VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink, and I'm just gonna stamp the sentiment there, and then use my paper trimmer just to trim it slightly. And then I need need to find a little bit more foam adhesive just to stick that on, because I do like to raise up the sentiment a little bit. It just brings that something to the card, I think. And there's some more. Before I add that though, I am going to adhere this to my base here, which is 10.5 by 14 centimeters, and I'm just going to use double-sided tape. It is staying lighter longer, but you can see the light is starting to fade already, so I do apologise if it's a little bit dark. I sit opposite the window, but the sun does move round to the other side of the house, unfortunately, as the day goes on. I can't wait for those lighter nights. It's been so gloomy up here in the northeast over January. I mean, yesterday was the first time we've had sunshine in absolutely ages. I can't even remember the last time I actually saw that yellow glow of the sun. It had been that long. So I'm just going to add a couple of bits of foam adhesive to the sentiment, pop that on. I mean, I like winter sometimes. I especially love the snow, and I do like the cozy nights and things, tucked under a blanket with a good book. But then sometimes it seems to drag a little bit, and you just want them lighter, bright nights. And I'm just going to add the sentiment here. And then before I go, we'll have a quick look through the enamel dots and see what I've got. I am running a little bit low on them. I've got some carnation ones there. I did use carnation, so I might use these pink ones. I must stock up with these next time I'm at a show, and the next time I'm at a show for definite is York on, I want to say, the 15th of January. I'm gonna pop one there, so I will be there in York. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone. The last one I was at was Kent, Craftorama Kent. So this one's Stamporama in York. So I'm looking forward to that. Sort of on my home turf, which is nice. So I've done 3. Normally I leave it at 3, but I am going to add a couple more down here. Just to give it sort of an uneven 5, like so. And there is my finished card. Thank you for joining me today. As always, thank you for all the support, the likes, the comments, the lovely orders. I will be back again later this week with another video, catching up a bit, sharing more of the recent release. So thank you for that, and see you all soon. Bye for now.